káàbọ̀ sórí ìkànnì wa Koikimedia. Ó ti wá yé everybody báyìí nísìn. Ìgbà tá à ń sọ fún ara wa pé ìjọba Tinubu yìí, ìjọba amúnisìn ni. Gbogbo yín pátápátá ẹ dá wa lóhùn. Ọ̀rọ̀ ti wá pẹ̀tù báyìí. Everybody ti wá di kíni? Everybody ti wá complain. Everybody comment pé ebi o, pé yà ń jẹ wá. Nígbà tí bàbá Akíntóyè sọ fún wa pé ká má jẹ́ kí Tinubu kó wa sínú wàhálà, a dá bàbá yẹn lóhùn. Ọ̀rọ̀ ti wá pẹ̀tù báyìí. Everybody wá ń lament. Mo kí gbogbo wa pé a tún káàbọ̀ sórí live program wa tá ń pè ní Koikimedia. Níbi tí a ti ń wo bó ṣe ń lọ. Torí ọ̀rọ̀ Nàìjíríà, everybody ló ti mọ bó ṣe ń lọ báyìí. Àtọmọdé o, àtàgbàlagbà o, àtàrúgbó o, everybody ti wá mọ bó ṣe ń lọ. Ìlú tí kò provide opportunity fáwọn aráàlú, ẹ máa rí orí rà ní 4,000 naira. Ìdààmú á máa wà nínú ẹ̀. Ẹlòmíì ò tí check blood pressure nísìn láti bí ọdún kan tí Tinubu ti wà lórí oyè. Àmọ́ nígbà tí a ní kí gbogbo wa ká jọ sọwọ́ papọ̀, ká get out of Nigeria, ẹ sọ fún wa pé ẹnu wa ń rùn. Ẹ ní ká gbẹnu dákẹ́. Ẹ ní ká má worry pé on your mandate we shall stand. Ẹ sure pé ṣì wà lórí mandate yẹn báyìí. Àbí mandate yẹn fúnra rẹ̀ ó ti collapse. Mo kí brother mi Silver Badmus. Kí lẹ fẹ́ rójú mi fún? Ẹ ní láti rójú. Dandan kọ́ ní gbogbo wa lè máa rójú. Ṣèbí ẹ̀yin náà níná Nàìjíríà. Ṣèbí ẹni tó bá níná ló máa wójú èèyàn. Ẹ ní láti rójú mi. Sí nǹkan tẹ́ fẹ́ fojú mi ṣe. Èyí tí mò ń sọ lẹ fẹ́ gbọ́. Ṣèbí púpọ̀ nínú yín náà ẹ níná nínú Nàìjíríà. So, èèyàn kankan ní láti rójú mi. Nígbà tí mò ń kígbe pé ẹja kúrò nínú Nàìjíríà, kò ní bàjẹ́ fún Silver Badmus. Kò ṣe dandan ní kẹ́ rójú mi. Èmi náà níná nínú ilé mi, èmi náà sanwó ná. Bí ẹni bá sanwó ná ló máa níná. So, àbí kí èèyàn tó sanwó ná gan kan máa fún èèyàn níná. Òun lọ̀rọ̀ Nàìjíríà. So mo kí gbogbo yín wa o. Ẹ̀yin ẹ̀yin ti gbà fún Ọlọ́run pé àfi kí Ọlọ́run kó yọ wá, kó kó wa kúrò nínú ìdààmú Jagaban. Torí Jagaban ló lọ kó wa sínú more problem báyìí. Òun ló sọ pé èmi ló kàn. Ó dẹ̀ ti kàn báyìí. Wá ti fi tiẹ̀. Ó fọ́ lórí burúkú tí ó fi kó bá gbogbo wa. Látara kó má ronú pé ọ̀rọ̀ Nàìjíríà kò ń ṣe tí èèyàn lè fix. But ìdààmú yẹn nísìn, òun ló bá gbogbo wa báyìí. Tọmọdé o, tàgbàlagbà. But kò wá ń ṣe gbogbo èèyàn náà ni ìyà máa jẹ. Problem tó máa ń wà nínú situation báyìí ni àwọn tí ìyà máa jẹ. Mo kí Mr. Ahmed Jamiu. Ẹ bá mi gbá wọlé share button. Ẹ pa àwọn èèyàn wọlé. Ẹ tún ní kó wá gbọ́ wa. Ọ̀rọ̀ náà la máa sọ. Ká wá máa ní action náà. Àṣà àkọ́kọ́ ṣì máa sọ̀rọ̀. Nígbà tá à ń pariwo pé èmi ló kàn yìí, bàbá burúkú ni. Torí tó bá ń ṣe bàbá burúkú, ó jẹ́ kó mọ̀ pé kò kàn anybody lọ́wọ́ yìí ju pé kólúkálukú máa lọ. Àjọṣepọ̀ wa ti Nàìjíríà, wàhálà àti ìdààmú, òun ló bá wa. But selfish interest èmi ló kàn. Ó ti fi tiẹ̀, ó ti fi dá yánpọnyánrin sílẹ̀ nínú Nàìjíríà. Mo kí yín láti Togo. Àlàáfíà lèmi náà wà. Báwo ni ọ̀dọ̀ yín lọ́hùn, àdẹ̀kù ọjọ́ ajé. Ṣùgbọ́n èní ló máa ń pè lọ́jọ́ ajé. Kọ́lọ́run jẹ́ ara ajé jẹun. Nígbà tá ní kí gbogbo wa ká sowọ́ papọ̀ gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọmọlúàbí, ká fi Tinubu sílẹ̀ kó má fi tiẹ̀, kó má fi kó bá wa. Gbogbo yín ní, Jagaban ló lè ṣe on your mandate, on your mandate. Pé Jagaban pé ó ní talent, ó ti ṣe Lagos rí. Gbogbo Lagos náà la rí báyìí nísìn. Kò sí nǹkan kan tó ń ṣiṣẹ́ ní Lagos State. Irọ́ ló wà níbẹ̀. Bí a bá dé Lagos lénìí báyìí, kò sí àlàáfíà, kò sí ìwòsàn, kò sí hospital. Nothing is working. Nàìjíríà ti wá di, ó ti wá di bó lọ yá mi báyìí. Ṣé lébi ń pa everybody. Ìyà tó wà nínú Nàìjíríà ó wá lé kànkà. Everybody wá ń wo ọgbọ́n fún wa lóye. Ó fún wa ní gbogbo ohun tí a lè fi ṣe ilé ayé wa. Fún wa ní resources, fún wa ní brain power. But torí ìjẹkújẹ àwọn olóṣèlú yìí, ó kí gbogbo àwọn ọba aládé, àwọn ọba tí wọ́n dúró tán pé kí ìran Yorùbá kó má bàa parẹ́. Ọba tí wọ́n ń wo àná, tán ń wo èní, tán ń wo níbo gan ni ọ̀rọ̀ ilé ayé ọmọ Yorùbá fi tán sí báyìí. Torí bí nǹkan ṣe ń lọ yìí, bàbá ṣèpẹ́ sí nínú Nàìjíríà. Ọlọ́run má yẹ kí wọ́n gbàgbé ìran wa pátápátá. Mo kí gbogbo wa pé ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí live transmission mi. Níbi tí èmi náà ti níná. Torí mo sanwó ná, wọ́n fún mi níná. Òun lọ̀rọ̀ Nàìjíríà. Lákọ̀ọ́kọ́, ẹ jẹ́ ká máa dúpẹ́ fún Ọlọ́run pé ó fi gbogbo wa, ó fi kẹ́ra wa. Àmọ́ kí ló wà fà tí ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ tá bá ti ń sọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá nation, ẹ máa tako. Kí ni nǹkan tẹ́ fẹ́ mú lára Nàìjíríà? Nigerian passport nísìn kò gbé yín wọ UK. Bẹ́ẹ̀ British passport ó gbé ọmọ British wọ Nàìjíríà. Kí ló lè fà á? Ṣèbí Britain sọ fún wa pé we are Commonwealth citizen. So kí ló wá fà a Commonwealth citizen tí kò lè wá sí England, kò lè lọ sí Wales, kò lè lọ sí Northern Ireland, and yet àwọn lè lọ of restriction. Ọmọ Nàìjíríà bá fẹ́ wá sí UK nísìn, wọ́n á ní kó lọ mú gbá wá, kó lọ máwo wá, go and bring your bank statement. Kí ló dé tí ọmọ Britain tó ń bọ̀ ní Nàìjíríà, wọ́n á ní kó lọ mú bank statement ẹ̀ wá láti lè fi confirm bóyá ó ní owó lọ́wọ́? Because wọ́n mọ̀ pé tẹ́ bá ti kúrò ní Nàìjíríà, probability pé máa jápa ẹ̀ ní padà wá sílé mọ́. And it's because the economic situation of Nigeria. So many Nigerians today do not come with Nigeria. Moki brother Megani, I'm just closer to your doorstep. But because when some of you want us to preserve Nigeria, why should we go and preserve and save Nigeria? Why must we save Nigeria? Save and preserve Nigeria. They've either died or you want to use your own stupidity of us that doesn't want to be one Nigeria. You will come and be telling us, no, Nigeria is not going to break up. We're going to save Nigeria. Did your father save Nigeria? Did your mother save Nigeria? Did your grandparents save Nigeria? And died in a very nasty death because they could not be given the well-being. The last final burial was even as rubbish. Most of you, when your parent died, you have to consume money for burial. Going on with my foreign relation. This article was written in January 2nd, I can tell you, which is like a day after the fraudulent, amalgamation. This was in 2018. So you can tell that it's not, today, that they don't talk about Nigeria. It has always been going on and going on and going on. But many Nigerians don't even know what they are celebrating. Each time they tell you to go and celebrate amalgamation created. The Oyibo people that created it now talk to every day. Even in as much as We are still holding passport with us, but the value of I still have my Nigerian passport. But what is the value of a Nigerian passport that doesn't even allow visa from the United Kingdom, and you're likely to be given that visa of friends that live in the UK that have a passport, apply for visa, go for you. Most of them don't get British passports. So what they do is, because they've got what they have to allow them the entry back to the UK, because either as a student, either for somebody that got married here, either for, and this also applies to some of you idiots that come and be telling us when we break, how are we going to do the people we marry, other people from another. What does that have to do with the breakup of Nigeria? Don't you know that many of your friends that come back home, we marry Oyibo, we marry person, we get be telling you, we care on the ages. Oh, no, we will not break Nigeria. Oh. Do you know why? Because he can travel out of the UK and return back. But when he return back, he will go to school. He will be able to do 16 hours and maybe do some side Yahoo Yahoo because they do Yahoo Yahoo. They are criminals, Nigerians, regardless of whether they are Igbos, Hausa, or Yoruba, or Bendelite, or Edo. Criminals. They live in the UK, they live abroad, commit all kind of fraudulent crime. But when they come back home with their would try to convince the average Nigerian that is a Yoruba man that no, don't listen to Koiki, don't listen to Koikimedia, and great place. Tell him to come back and live with you in Nigeria. He will tell you, "No, so Nigeria not designed to it trading route for the of the Fulani that were never part of us. I will kill them, take over their land. All the as the Koiki Media, bringing the world closer to your doorstep. This platform is an educational platform to prepare the Yorubas that really wants to go out of Nigeria. Your father could not fix the opportunity presently in Nigeria. That is why we want to restrict their opportunity so that a new constitution, a new way of life, but that's why we have to process everything for you. But when we are processing it, say, hey, no, come back home. Why do I need to come back home? A former ex BBC editor that just returned back from London was kidnapped by the DSS at Muritala Mohammed Airport. You all know that some of us will come home and we will be whisked away. Nobody will find us and nobody will know where we are for a very long time. So nobody's coming home, okay? Idiot. So you will die inside Nigeria. Well, by the time I come out, Yoruba Nation will be coming up as well. So this was put together by Jack Listen is a research associate for Africa policy. Oyibo people always come and research Africa for us as if Africa cannot research anything. But since Baba Kitoye is the one talking before, stupid people cannot listen. Process. He's a professor of history, but we like when we hear Oyibo name Jack Lynn is a research associate. We lost my Twitter, so hopefully, we'll be better. Moki Bugwale Consio. For 19, God, the governor of both the Northern Nigerian Protectorate and the colony and the Protectorate of 1960, Nigeria became an independent state. Anniversaries are times for reflection, and that today, as at this article 2018, just national through identity, which is you anymore, depending on who you think you are. And also reanimated separatist movement. Separatists, people that are fighting for self-determination should never be called separatists, okay? But these stupid Oyibo people, They put their own research based on what the West want them to put. It is worth reflecting how exactly Nigeria became Nigeria. Nigeria she became Nigeria. You were just born and you don't want to know. And now that we are trying to tell you to know, your head will be like kokoro. Your head will be like a granite with water full inside. You refuse to know. So let's know how Nigeria became Nigeria. Before the Europeans arrived in the territory, did you hear that? Before Europeans came into our territory, that is now called Nigeria. Onyibo, when they say Europeans, some of you don't know the meaning of European. These are Onyibo people, Portuguese, the criminals that came in 15th century, the British that came in and took us as slaves, the Spanish, the French. Every one of them was scrambling for Africa. Go and watch that movie on the Netflix. It's called Scramble for Africa. And that was what also led to the, let me pull that up, what we call the 1884 Berlin Conference, a conference of white people, only white people, àwọn Igbo, that took advantage and lies Africa because they were all fighting for Africa. They were killing themselves. Wọ́n jà fún nǹkan tó kì í ṣe tiwọn. Imagine people fighting for your own resources, your territory, and they now decided that instead where would they kill ourselves, kill ourselves. Why not we all come together? There's no point killing ourselves for these people. We can share it, we can divide it, and everybody takes their own share. That is why Benin Republic, if you go there today, everything that they consume for that country is coming from France. You know why? Because that was what France got out of the Berlin Conference. When you look at Nigeria, so the Berlin Conference that took place in 1884 for a whole year up to 1885, they met 15th of November, 1884. And after an adjournment, imagine people, they make decision on our life. They no call us, so no black person was there, no African leaders was there, no royal king was there, no obas, no ballet, just old men, white people, decided to sit around the table, drinking, smoking in 1884 in November, and that went on. But they couldn't conclude. You know why? Because they are criminals. Have to consult us for visa. They came and took because it was a privilege for them to realize that a system of government was already working in Yoruba land. Because some things then, they gave glasses, mirrors, and they exchanged it for stupidity. And that is the reason why Tashin suffer Leni. So one more Yoruba and Jeleni, don't blame yourself. You're suffering because some of our kings, during that era, sold us for peanuts. So they couldn't conclude their meeting during the Berlin Conference in 1884. So they came back again on the 26th of February to conclude, and they all have signature of what they called the General Act regulating European colonization and trade in Africa during the new imperialism period. But Oloshiamo Yoruba Lori Buruku to Nishoriri will be telling me, oh, why are you fighting for Yoruba nation? Let's save Nigeria. Your papa no own Nigeria. Your mama no own Nigeria. It was all imperialism. No, it's leadership problem. Go better for you. Which leadership problem? Oloshiamo mo kí gbogbo àwọn Yorùbá gidi, àwọn Yorùbá òtítọ́ tó ti wá rí àríṣà pé the West, when they say Europeans, these are English, Spanish, Portuguese, Italians, French, Belgium, Holland, every one of them. that are under European country, àwọn ni wọ́n jẹ́ kẹ́ máa jìyà lénìí. And that's why they don't want you in their country. They only want people that they can make use of for the second slave trade. So let's go back to the how Nigeria became a country, okay? So I've explained to you who the Europeans are. You now have idea about the 1884 Berlin Conference. So now if I read further, you will not be lost in the discussion. If you're new to the platform, just share the program. If you're not new and you're regular, you know what to do. Bring more people in so that they can come and learn about why Yoruba Nation is the solution, Igbo Kingdom is the solution, Hausa Kingdom, Ineri, whatever we are called, even though they were even changing our names. So let's go further because of my time. Before Europeans arrived in the territory that is now Nigeria, a number of different civilizations existed. Did you hear that? A number of different civilizations existed whose presence is still felt today. Yoruba have their own empire, which is called Oyo Empire, Benin Empire, Sokoto Caliphate, until everything was destroyed. They now call 36 states. Some of your states, they are as useless as tissue paper. They don't produce anything. And Lagos, they feed them. Idiot all over the place. For example, in the north, which is the northern part of Nigeria, Islam was predominant. In the 19th century, there were two Islamic empires, the Sokoto Caliphate and the Borno Empire. I'm not sure there's anything called Sokoto Caliphate anymore. It's now called Fulani Caliphate because they've destroyed the Sokoto Caliphate, which were real Hausa people that were the true ownership of that territory. But since they allowed this Usman Dan Fodio, another criminal that came outside Nigeria and then decided to come into that territory, now wiped off all their own traditional rulers, kill every one of them, and ditch their own system of Fulanization. And today, you go to the north, you can now say that the Hausas are fighting back to retain their own true identity. Now, to the southwest, laid numerous Yoruba city-states. Did you hear that? That is how we should have been called today, our Omo Yoruba. So rather than us staffing Nigeria, Nigerians, during that century, nobody knows anything about Nigeria. Nigeria was only created after 1914. But Omo Yoruba lè nísìn tá à ń ṣàlàyé fún pé ìran ọmọ Yorùbá ni wọ́n ní náà ẹ̀yin kan liberal níyàn ẹ̀yin kan conservative àwọn olòṣì. Instead of us to all come into one table and shut down Nigeria so that we can go back to be known as Yoruba people. This one, Adeyinka grandson go dey abuse Koikimedia. Koikimedia go dey abuse this one. We go dey fight each other, because that is the system that these criminal Europeans created. They have infiltrated us. They have now put some people, they give them penny, just like they sold us out anyway. I mean, imagine people were sold for, a mirror. I was at the Liverpool Museum some few years ago, and I could see Shinap, gin, those gin where they take do traditional whatever. Those are some of the things when people gave our people. Say, yeah, take gin. And our people saw it and, wow, this one, how many slaves do you want? They say we need 50,000. I beg, take 100,000, and that's why they say when you get to the Badagry point of no return, you become a slave, and you saw how they manipulated things, how they change things, translate things that are not our own, tell us that our own tradition, na voodoo that they say our tradition, yet their own tradition is not voodoo. They brought in Christianity, they brought in Islam, and they started diverting our true identity. But let's continue. So now we were told that in the southwest, there were numerous Yoruba city states that generally had in common animalist religion and were only sometimes united. Did you see the way they put it? Let's go and look at the meaning of an animalist. Because these people are bastard. They write things that if you read it and you believe they are nonsense, you will get lost. But now that we know that Professor Akintoye have explained a lot of things to us, we don't have to trust anything Oyinbo people write anymore because they are criminals. You know, let me try and find the meaning of this animalist because all this big grammar, they hide it under fraudulent Google search. Where's my Google search? Okay, it's not. Let me go and look. Type it in. Animalist. Animalist. What's the meaning of that? Animalism, the attribution of living soul to plants in perceives or a pantheism. In animalism, everything does not exist as one spirit, namely God. Okay, we have an idea what they're talking about because all this when you both sometimes they use it. So what they're saying is that Nile Yoruba, we are known as animalist religion and we were only sometimes united. Look at the way they put it. Save England and very good morning. I'm told it's raining in Lagos. It's been raining here. Pé àwọn eléyìí èèyàn gidi mà ní wọ́n kẹ̀. Àwọn eléyìí àwọn èèyàn dáadáa ni wọ́n àmọ́ a máa kó wọn lẹ́rú ni o. They saw our capability. They saw our intellectuals. They met things that they've never seen in their own space, in their own territory, in their own kingdom. These are explorers. Today, many of you want to come and explore UK, but you are restricted. But when these people came during that 15th century, nobody stopped them. We welcomed them, but we did not know that they are enemies, they are criminals. But today, some of you love Ronaldo so much. But when I tell you that Portuguese were part of the people that came and took us as slaves, maybe that would change your perspective. I say, hey, shut up, Koiki, shut up, shut up. Because some of you are mumu. Mumu. You love your slaves. You love them, your slave masters. So people like us now, we look at certain things and we just say, okay. But when we look at the way they've destroyed our history, do you know how many Yoruba people can play better than Ronaldo? I'm sure you know that. Do you know how many Biafrans that can play than Ronaldo? How many Arewa? How many other people within that, shit or amalgamation joint together? Because that's the thing that is selling in Nigeria. Into Majakoli, just, she's sex in the Kola Mama Shido. Every platform you go, sex, sex, sex. We cannot TikTok, sex, 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 sex. They've destroyed morals. No morals again in that southwest. Every product on time is saying, Cubana, Obi Cubana, Prince Cubana, Ati Davido, how they will sell up buying alcohol, consume alcohol, and drugs. That's the only thing that is selling in Nigeria today, especially in the Yoruba. Now you can see Yoruba people. Tobati alcohol, are related to land for 4,000 naira. Only 4,000 naira in London. That's £2. So that means you are ready to kill somebody like us for £2. Bomb bastard. That's why the shamanic Awasile. Most of you ritualist our land in yellow. Taban sọ̀rọ̀ drugs, fake product, àwọn Igbo ló ní yẹn lọ́wọ́. Taban sọ̀rọ̀ jale, àwọn Hausa nìyẹn. The kind of country they fẹ́ ká wà, ẹ̀yin olóṣì. Kí lẹ fẹ́ fojú mi ṣe? Asking you don't see my face, you don't see my face. Ṣojoojúmọ́ lẹ gbọ́dọ̀ máa rójú wa ni. Ẹjọ́ torí Ọlọ́run ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀. Ṣẹ́yìn níná ni. Ẹni náà tẹ fi ń wò mí ni. àwọn kan wà nísìn lórí mixlr, they don't need to see my face, they hear my voice, they see my face, they fẹ́ fojú mi ṣe ọ̀rọ̀ tá à ń sọ ní kẹ́ gbọ́, ojú mi ẹ fún mi lówó fojú mi ni a máa sọ̀rọ̀ instead kẹ́ farabalẹ̀ kẹ́ tẹ́tí kẹ́ gbọ́rọ̀ tá à ń sọ ẹ̀ ń sọ pé ẹ̀rọ ojú mi mo tẹ́ fẹ́ fojú yàn ṣe à ń ṣàlàyé nǹkan ẹ̀ máa ìyí tí ẹ ká ń ṣàlàyé ẹ comment lórí ẹ̀, we can't see your face, ẹ máa wọ́jú mi káàkiri. So let's continue. It was not until 1886 that the formerly century, no. So the British arrived in 18th century. We are currently at the 21st century. But 18th century lẹ́yìn àwọn olóṣì British dé, àwọn wèrè, àwọn tó kó wa sí ìdààmú, Ọlọ́run kó yọ wá náà. But it was not until 1861, that they formally occupied their first Nigerian territory known as Lagos in a bid to protect Christian converts and the trading interest and to further their anti-slavery campaign. 3 things is mentioned in that small write-up. I can break it down. Wọ́n nígbà táwọn British dé ní 18th century, àwọn náà wá occupy ibì kan tó ń pè ní Lagos. Ṣáwa náà lè occupy gbogbo South East, ká lé gbogbo òyìnbó tó wà níbẹ̀ lọ, ká wá sọ pé nísìnyí o, we have turned this place to Yoruba city. Is it possible? Because the idiot that we are taking to, our diaspora, you cannot own this country even if you have British passport. You don't own this country, okay? You don't own their empire network out of Lagos. Came in 18 something. By 1903, ọmọ British ti gbalẹ̀ o. What? Ṣé stupid people àwa ni? British tó dé ní 1886. 1861. Nígbà tó máa fi di 1903, gẹ́gẹ́ bí ìtàn tá à ń kà yìí, wọ́n ní but nígbà tá à lè access sí because ní access sí oyè yín, but nígbà tá à rí yẹn ṣe, àárín ara wa láti máa dá owó tá máa fi bára wa kúrò nínú ìdààmú tá wà nú ẹ̀. But púpọ̀ náà àwọn èèyàn ọ̀rọ̀ yẹn ò yé wọn. Wọ́n ní wọ́n ní ìdòwò ilẹ̀ fífi owó ṣe. British tí wọ́n ní wọ́n wà sí agbègbè wa ní 1886 nígbà tó máa fi di 1903 because wọ́n ti rí nǹkan àmúlùmúlù oríṣiríṣi in tí ó wà lórí ilẹ̀ wa, wọ́n ti extract láti gbé irinṣẹ́ wọlé, láti gbé irinṣẹ́ jáde, láti gbé nǹkan jáde, láti gbé nǹkan wọlé. And they started bí wọ́n bá kí lẹ rò pé Dangote fi lówó? Ṣèbí monopoly ni. Kí lẹ rò pé Ọ̀tẹ̀dọ́lá fi lówó? Monopoly ni. Tony Eleme gbogbo wọn criminal. So tó bá dẹ̀ ti wà, they will expand quickly and they will suppress and subjugate the rest of the people. That was what the British did. Britain wọ́n mọ̀ pé nígbà táwọn ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí rí nǹkan jí ní orí ilẹ̀ wa, wọ́n bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí expand. Wọ́n nígbà tó máa fi di 1903, which is 11 years before the amalgamation, wọ́n ti occupy gbogbo ibi tó ń pè Nàìjíríà. Wọ́n ti lé Portuguese lọ, wọ́n ti pa wọ́n pé ẹ̀yin kẹ́ ẹ̀ ní kúure. Àwa la máa jókòó sí bíbá. Kò wá ń ṣe bọ́ ṣe ń ṣe lọ́dọ̀ wa nìkan. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ló ń ṣe ní India, wọ́n ń ṣe ní Ghana. I mean, they were expanding their empire. Owó dẹ̀ nìyàn fi ń expand ẹ̀yin ọ̀dẹ̀. Kò ń ṣe ẹ̀yin èèyàn tèmi gangan ni mò ń pè lọ́dẹ̀, àwọn wèrè tó máa question nǹkan tá à ń ṣe. Ẹ fẹ́ kúrò ní Nàìjíríà, ẹ fẹ́ náwó. Ẹnu ẹni gbogbo àjọ wa yẹn. Ẹnu ẹni gbogbo àjọ wa. Ẹnu ẹni gbogbo àjọ wa. Àwọn fi owó, wọ́n fi expand. Àwa ń sọ nísìnyí pé so a dẹ̀ fẹ́ kúrò ní Nàìjíríà ká máa pariwo Yorùbá nation lórí social media nìkan. Ẹnu ẹni gbogbo àjọ wa yẹn. Ẹni máa kú, ẹni máa yẹ ni. Òun lọ̀rọ̀ tó wà nílẹ̀. So it's as simple as that. British gan owó ni wọ́n fi control gbogbo ibi tó ń pè Nàìjíríà. Wọ́n ní àwọn èèyàn dé ní 1880. Calculate how many years. Let me go to my calculator, Mumbo. Let me go to my calculator. Kaloshin Koko. So now 1903 minus 18. Do you know how many years that? That means it took the British 42 years to fully occupy what is known as Nigeria. 42 years. Òmùgọ̀ kan wá sọ pé Yorùbá nation ti pẹ́. Ẹ̀dẹ̀ lówó lọ́wọ́. Ṣé mọ̀ pé owó la máa fi ṣe Yorùbá nation? Ẹlòmíì ò tẹ̀ mọ́ tá à ń jà torí ẹ̀gàn sef. Lọ́ọ̀ kò ṣàánú. Pàtẹ́dì àkáyè. British will take 42 years láti establish trenches wọn, agbára wọn lórí ibi tó ń pè Nàìjíríà. Èmi dẹ̀ kọ́ mọ́ kó átíkù yìí. Átíkù yìí was 2018. 42 years. Èmi gan nísìnyí mo ti pé 40 plus. That means pé 42 years ni British colony ló ti fi establish láti fi control gbogbo Nàìjíríà. Wọ́n wá ṣe yẹn tán. Èèyàn tó wá tẹ́ wọn lọ́rùn. Ẹ mọ̀ pé tó bá tẹ̀ pé wọ́n ṣe gbogbo yẹn, wọ́n fi wá sílẹ̀ bó ṣe bá wa. It will have been the best thing. Ẹ wá mọ̀ tó ṣe. Nígbà tó wá di 1914, 11 years after tó ti establish, tó ti control, wọ́n tún wá lọ sọ wá sí Nàìjíríà. Ọmọ àlè Yorùbá kan wá sọ fún mi pé ká keep Nàìjíríà. Ìgbà tó wọ́n understand nǹkan tá à ń sọ. Ọ̀dẹ̀. Let's go back again. In 1884, the British occupied what would later become the Southern Protectorate and the Northern Protectorate piecemeal from 1900 to 1903. By 1903, the British controlled the territory that comprises the modern-day Nigeria, but has 3 separate administrative blocks. Do you know what administrative is? Ileshe. Oh yeah, the southeastern part of Nigeria was one administrative block. The southwest part of Nigeria, Tonkunile Yoruba, Odotiwa, was one administrative block. The northern part was also one administrative block. But out of the 3, Awoloshi North, they were not making money for the British. This is where Lugard decided to join it together. 3 administrative blocks. 1, 2, 3. Meta 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Ní mẹ́tẹ̀ẹ̀ta yẹn, southwest lọ́dọ̀ tiwa nìkan ló ń pawó jù fún wọn. Ilẹ̀ Yíbò gan pawó fún wọn. The north was a lost. Wọ́n kàn lose owó ni. And at the end of the day, they now decided that ó dà pé àwọn northerners àwọn ilé òní fún wa lówó. Lugard bá decide that kàkà kí àwọn máa sponsor north, àwọn ṣe kúkú merge together. That is the formation of Nigeria. So if something was not what it was, go to the British day, why then should we be one? So, and Ewane Enja, Hausa ń bá Yorùbá jà, Yorùbá ń bá Igbo jà, Igbo ń bá Hausa jà, Ewane wọ́n para wọn after the independence. Agurose destroy Keniko. Stupid people. Instead of us to be going back to the root of the problem, because this is where the root of the problem is. This 1903, when the British took over the whole of Nigeria and turned it to 3 administrative blocks. My very question, Agurose destroyed the regional government. What concern us with Agurose? Why did the British not leave it as they met it? They came in the 18th century. They met us. We were good people, separate people. Igbo wà láyé ọ̀tọ̀ tiẹ̀, Yorùbá wà láyé ọ̀tọ̀ tiẹ̀, olúkálùkù wà láyé ọ̀tọ̀ tiẹ̀. Kí ló dé tí wọ́n fi wá sílẹ̀ bá ṣe wà? Kí ló dé tí wọn ò fi wá sílẹ̀ bá ṣe wà kó kálukú máa gbé ìgbé ayé ẹ̀. Irọ́ o, they don't want that. Now, àwa ti wà níbi tí àwọn jẹgúrújẹrá olè politician, àwọn náà ti wá di olówó nínú corrupt created contractics. Níbo ló ti rówó? Kò dá lè iṣẹ́ sílẹ̀. Oil rig, ẹ wá ń sọ́ọ̀kì oil rig, ìgbépo gbé lọ sí Malta, a country of 500,000, kò pé 1 million. Malta ò pé 1 million. Àwọn Tinubu kàbá olè á gbépo sínú táǹkà wá lọ sí Malta níbi tó ti máa refine ẹ̀. Dangote wá ní ẹ̀ ní kúure, ẹ gba owó lọ́wọ́ mi, ẹ fún mi ní crude oil. And this has been going on like that. But because ọmọ Yorùbá ò lè process nǹkan kan, we can't process anything. And that's the reason why we are where we are today. So anyway, ẹ jẹ́ ká end the program yìí. A máa pàdé later. Ọlọ́run kó wa yọ. Bó bá wọn ẹ̀ kó gbọ́, bó bá wọn ẹ̀ kó má gbọ́. Ìyà máa jẹ gbogbo wa ni. So when the right time comes, we will all demand for our rights. And rí jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ, èmi náà ń pè ní Ọláyọmí Kóìkì. Brother mi jẹ́ ń sáré ka kọ́mẹ́ǹtì Ayọ̀míkún Dámíjù ni. They say the Hausas are the most populated tribe in Nigeria today. Yoruba are still supporting one Nigeria. What a joke. Thanks so much. Mo kí Ifáàní mọ́lẹ̀ ayé. So bàbá mi Mua Olùdarí JP Ẹ̀ṣẹ́gan ni ẹ̀gbọ́n mi, dádì mi. Mo kí gbogbo wa o. Ẹ jẹ́ ká end ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ kọ́ mo fẹ́ kó pẹ́ ju 1 hour lọ. Mo kí gbogbo wa, àṣeyọrí la máa ṣe. A máa ṣàlàyé náà ni. Àlàyé lọ́rọ̀. Ẹni tó bá fi yé kó yé. Sparklism mo kí ẹ. Silent listeners mo kí yín. Have a very good morning. Bye for now.